everybody. Welcome back to the LINDSEY podcast. Tonight, we are going to talk about how to properly vet when dating and selecting a person to be your potential life partner or longtime partner, however you want to pick that out, and why it is beneficial for both males and females. So, what is properly vetting, right? So, when we think about what do we mean, what does it mean to you, like Jasmine, when you think of vetting, what would you consider vetting to be?
It's making sure that your mate is suitable for you.
Right.
Um, Man, you start lately, and maybe it's just me, but you starting to hear properly vet a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Before we weren't hearing that,
Right.
or I can't say we. I'm gonna speak for me. Before we weren't really hearing like, oh, you need to make sure that the person that you're with, suits you. It was more of a physical attraction thing. And no one really talked about what happens after you've already established that you're physically attracted to this person. Y'all like each other. Y'all think y'all cute or whatever. Then what happens next? No one was talking about that. Now it seems to be a big thing, and that's a really good thing because we oftentimes end up in these situations, and we be years in this,
Yep.
and then one day we just kind of wake up tired, like, how I get here? Like, what happened that I got in this situation in the first place? And when you really start to think about it, it's like most times, you realize you really don't even like that person for real. Like, you don't even like them as a person. Like, if y'all take out the sex and you take out the relationship and you take out the lust, you really wouldn't even be friends with that person. So it's
Exactly.
like, how did you end up in a whole situationship with kids and relationship, and some of us even as far as like marriage? Like, how did you do that without knowing what you were really getting yourself into? And in order to properly vet, because I've even heard some people say, well, how do you properly vet? You have to know you.
Exactly.
You got to spend time with you. You have to know what you like and what you don't like. You have to have boundaries. You have to have standards. And we're not talking about, standards that are not easily obtainable. Some standards, though, so that when those things aren't being met, that's your time to go ahead and get up through.
Cut it off. Don't even proceed further. And then
Nice.
it's not, it, and that's the thing on the standards part is it tends to always be the women standards are way up here and they make it seem like okay they're not attainable, whereas a man's standards could be mm, maybe here and then it's like here, but it's like we're always having to feel like when dating we have to do this, like come meet you down here, and it's like no, you come up here because you should be happy that someone's got a standard up here rather than at the bottom of the barrel, and it's like any and everybody has access to that particular person, right?
Well,
Especially
I mean, you got to think about it like this. Like, a lot of our men don't have standards.
no.
They weren't taught to have standards. A lot of our men don't really understand that they set the tone. They are the maintainers. They are the head and not the tail. But see, when you have that type of situation, then this is where women come in and we deal with these type of men, and we get tired of that after so long. Like, after so long, a man or a woman will get tired of dimming their own light for
Exactly.
people around them to like them or stay around them. So you get tired of it, and then in those situations, once you finally wake up and come out of them, that's when some women's standards become sky high, because they're like, I'm not going to deal with another situation like I just had again. And then they have all these unrealistic um, standards or what they want in a suitor, a possible suitor. And then we get these conversations and all these podcasts that we have now where people is talking about, are should men have a certain type of woman? Can you? It's like, and then like the one that really like gets on my nerves is the one that's like, this is not the 1920s. Women don't do this. Women don't do that anymore. And this is just my opinion, but I feel like that's part of the problem because we don't do things in the proper order. Not saying that things were proper order back in those days, but you didn't really see too many women outside of the home back in those days. And it's not a thing that I'm saying needs to be re-implemented now. But if we're going to complain about the way our young boys are being raised and brought into men, if we're going to complain about the school system, if we're going to complain about the job market, if we're going to complain about all this stuff, if you understand women in our position and understand that we are the mothers of everything.
Exactly. And even
Okay.
back then, because a lot of times you see like some of the men like, oh well, back then like the women were like just like the home keepers and nurturers. Actually, if you really really look back into it, there was a time where they were only hiring women to be in certain positions, job positions, whereas they were not hiring the man. So the woman was going to work at times, right? But they don't talk about that part. But so now, fast forward, okay, we're in the 21st century, and women are out here working, women are out here getting an education, women are out here, playing the mom and the dad role if she's a single mother. It's unfortunate, but unfortunately, you cannot make someone be in the child's life. So you can't cry about it. You got to get up and do something about it. So even for the single mothers and single fathers, because you have some fathers out here who are raising kids too, like literally, you gotta understand properly vetting is beneficial for both male and female, especially when you are dealing with children, because you're not going to just date the other person. You're the person who's going to date you. Has to also accept those children. They have to be suitable for those children. Because we see time and time again in relationships, women and men, like they'll get with somebody just to fill the void in their life, or so they don't have to be lonely, but they're not thinking about what is the best interest of the child. That also has to be factored into my dating life, because yeah, we can get someone if we want someone, but is that the right person? And it's not a physical thing, it is a mental thing, it's a spiritual thing. And not a lot of times you notice when you hear people are talking about like dating, you hardly ever hear them say, how are they spiritually? They never bring it up. It's like, don't you want a praying man and a praying woman?
No,
Someone who
because a
prays
lot
for
of
you?
us don't pray. Like a lot of us
I
don't have a
know, but I'm
spiritual
like, but
life.
wouldn't it be nice to know that somebody prays over you, prays for you, prays for your mental health, your physical health, your overall well-being? Like you never
No,
hear these people say, like, that's what I want, someone who's going to take the time out to, like, we always like, I want you to consider me. Consider me in prayer too. Don't just pray for yourself,
but
put me there
but
too.
that but they because they don't have a spiritual life, it's not nice to know that they don't. It's I don't want to say no one cares. I don't want to say that. That's just not where they at right now. So they're not thinking about that, and that is you in these days. You should be, because whether a person prays or not is not just the only thing. Like you got hoodoo, voodoo, you got witchcraft, good and bad. Like you got people carrying crystals. I carry a crystal. As a matter of fact, I keep calling it a third eye. It's not a third eye. It's an evil eye, and it's about this big. And I wear it just like this everywhere I go. I don't got it on right now, but you got to be careful. Like you have to know what people into. If you saw me walking around with an evil eye on, what would you think I was into? You know what I'm saying? It's those small things that people overlook, and it just my if you don't take nothing else from this video, I would say take this away. Stop trying to reason with yourself. when that when you hear that, or you get that uneasy feeling like something's not right, or somebody said or did something to you, and you kind of go, stop trying to reason with yourself that you tripping, or it's not what it seems like.
Hmm.
It usually always is, and you're usually not tripping. We ignore those type of things and try to tell ourselves, okay, maybe I'm just, tripping, or maybe I took this wrong, or maybe I shouldn't have said this, or maybe I shouldn't have said that. And that's really not the case. That goes into properly vetting as well. Your body will tell you what you need to know, and your body will tell you when someone does not need to be in your space.
Exactly. Red flags are real and should not be ignored because it was that thing that was going around. Notice how a lot of people was going around and they were saying red flag. Oh, if she don't cook, red flag. If
Yeah,
you don't do
yeah,
this, red flag.
yeah.
Okay, well, where was y'all waving them red flags all these years ago? But don't get me wrong, because I don't want to come off as the judge mental type, because I know that's the easiest thing to do for some people, and it's comforting to just go straight to judgment without understanding is none of us have at all times made the best dating decisions in our past. Okay. Everybody
All
has
right.
a past. Even if, let's say, the first person you've ever dated was a person you turned out to marry, you probably have made mistakes along the way in that too. And you look back on like, okay, well, I wish I would have been more aware at the time or more understanding at the time of this to do something different. So it's not so much as where you've been, but it's where you're currently going, because we're not perfect. And I think that's the thing. Like when it comes to this whole standard of women and men and like dating, especially in the Black community, is like we're expecting perfection. That's not a realistic thing, right? But the little small stuff, like, someone who is respectable to themselves and you and other people, right? Because we love to say high value something. High value is not equivalent to your wallet. And I'm going to say this to the death of me. You being a high value individual has nothing to do with how much money you got in your bank account. Your money does not talk. Your money does not speak for you. It may speak for you on a materialistic side, but it does not say this is the kind of character you have, because you've got people out here with money with the most just disgusting evil spirits, right? Their whole persona is like someone I wouldn't want to be around. And then you have some people who out here who ain't got nothing, that probably got a heart of gold. So high value is not what you have in your wallet. It is how you are as a person. How do you treat yourself? How do you treat other people? What kind of morals are you sharing with the world? What are you showing people that you know that is good for them to see, right? And I mean, so when you're getting to know someone, when you're properly vetting, look, say those things, like, right? Know what you want. Say that conversation up front, because I think that's the thing is we try to go on this first date, second date, third date, and like the fourth date in, we'd be like, okay, well, listen, I'm this type of person. No, date one needs to be the maker or breaker of a continuance, right? And that's why I say don't even call it a date, call it a trial basis to
And
get
then
to
people need to
first
be
date.
specific. I feel like we need to break
Yes.
it down because you said something. You said it's about a person being respectful to you and themselves. Let's flip that around on the themselves part. Personal hygiene is a sign of respect for themselves. Now, it doesn't directly affect you other than they may smell. But if a person is not respecting themselves in the sense of personal hygiene, red flag. And I read something yesterday on Instagram. I can't remember word for word, but the girl was basically saying that she had been in a relationship for like 4 years, and after she had got out of the relationship, there was a few things that she looked back on. She said one of the things was the red flags that you glossed over and ignored in the beginning will be the reasons why you argue and break up in the end, and that is absolutely 100% true. It is.
Who you are, yeah. Because if you give them who you are up front, you don't take away their option. When you don't give who you are up front, you technically are taking away the option without saying you're taking it away, right? So if I say, look, I'm not a person that likes to be out in nature, and you're a person that likes to be out in nature, but I suck it up, once or twice, but then further down the road in relationship, now we arguing because I don't want to go highlighting,
Yeah.
because I feel like that ain't my cup of tea, right? And so we're arguing about this, or you don't want to go camping, or you don't, like to work out. You should have said it up front, because you give these people a choice, and let them choose. Do you want to stay? Do you want to go? That's the thing. But we tend to, I don't want to come off as I'm being too strong, or whatever the case may be up front, right? Because we're always worried about what people's perceptions of us are, because we know now in the times we live in, perception is reality. It's
Yep.
really not, but it
Oh
is,
my
right?
God. Yes, it
So it's like, tell me who you are. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you're looking for. Let's do this in one setting, right? Let's try it for one. Like, it ain't got to be no Let's go to dinner at 8 o'clock because obviously you might not. But I mean, communicate up until the date. Kind of have that conversation because you might, if you communicate up front, right, not in each other's personal space, but like even just through on the phone, through text or something, because people are into technology now. It's all they know how to do is text. Like if someone figure out where they're kind of going in their conversation, what are they saying to you? Because you might get up to the day of the date and you might not need to show up. I might need to leave you sitting. Like for real, and block them. Like just block them. Don't say it, just block them. Let them figure it out. It's something you said that rubbed me the wrong way, or I got that feeling of a red flag and it says do not proceed any further. But you need to ask those questions. And I think we're getting into a time where we're so materialistic with dating, is we're ignoring our mental needs out of a relationship, right? Because it is a partnership. It's not just what you want, it's what they also want. And then there's the compromise in the middle. But we're not really doing that because when you're comparing yourself to this relationship you've seen on social media, you're going the wrong way. And men do it too. They be out here trying to compare themselves to like little baby or something. You're not a little baby. You might be a little cockeyed, but you ain't little baby. Okay. You
Okay.
are whatever your name is.
This video literally can go on for a very long time with all the things that go with this type of topic. Compromise. People get compromise misconstrued. People think compromise means I'm supposed to bow down to whatever it is that you want. Negative.
Just like
Compromise is
wrong.
compromise is meeting in the middle. Compromise is coming to a decision where both of us are happy and fulfilled. Not, well, I'll just do it just because you want to do it and I don't want to argue. That's not a compromise. And another thing is the sexual aspect of it. We glorifying fucking on the first date and doing all these exotic, I'm gonna call them exotic things with each other or whatever.
Like
And
attraction.
that clouds your judgment. Like, people don't understand the spiritual aspect behind sex. Like, it's more than just feeling good. There's a whole spiritual component that goes with this. And this is why you end up in situations where it's toxic, but yet you can't pull away. There might be a soul tie there. That could happen. That could happen during sex.
And
Give
then
yourself
having
that.
the thoughts of
Huh?
it too up front, like too soon, especially too soon, like you don't know them. And so that is
And they
what you
crazy. No, you
that too.
crazy.
And they can make you crazy. That's what people don't know. A crazy person can make you crazy because if you pick off of their energy, right? Or then their energy is rubbing off on you, or especially through sex, because let's be honest, whatever's on you gets on them sometimes, because you have good people have sex with bad people, and the goodness of you didn't leave a mark on them. They still got up and was still a piece of shit. But what we gotta understand, like the distraction of attraction just really means like be aware of your brain drugs. Okay. If you have not ever heard of that, what are brain drugs? Is dopamine and noradrenaline, right? Those are those receptors, transmitters in the brain that distract you because it takes your energy. And so when you're thinking of sex and the physical appearance of a person, that's where most of your focus goes into there, that visual side, not anything else. But again, like she said, sex is spiritual. And that person you might be attracted to, they might got the nice body, they might have a pretty smile, whoop do, whatever it is that is considered a turn ons can lead to turn offs later because of what the after effects can be for you. And so being aware of that, and there is nothing wrong with being celibate because sex confuses things. Sex is a distraction when trying to get to know somebody. And that's what we said earlier. We're doing things backwards. Okay, we're meeting someone, then we're gonna have sex with them. We're not. Then it's like, well, what's your favorite color? Why I need to know your favorite color? I don't have sex with you. We
Listen,
already
some
had
of us
sex.
don't even
It
get
don't
that
matter
far.
anymore, right? Like
Some people been together at so many years and be like, I don't even know what their favorite color is.
right, like y'all don't ask the little kindergarten questions no more.
Right. That's
Like,
important to know.
Yeah, it's like I could like green and you buy me a blue shirt and I have to fake a smile like, oh, it is so cute. Like, you know, I don't
Or we
like green.
arguing over that blue shirt because
Right.
why? Because you don't never wear the blue shirt. Why you don't never wear what I buy you? Well, it's not my color. Like I
Yeah,
don't.
but it's like that type of stuff, you know. Are you the type of person that is and if you're affectionate, say that too, because you have some people out here who are not affectionate. They don't know how to be affectionate. They don't try to be affectionate. And if you're an affectionate person, you get in a relationship with someone who's not, now you're upset because there's no affection being shown and all you just want is a hug. So now you're over here fussing and bitching and complaining, but all you really want is a motherfucker to just hug you. And because they're not affectionate now, it's like, damn. But again, it's learning who you are first, accepting who you are. If you're okay with what you discovered about yourself, if there's nothing that you feel you want to change or something you do want to change, you change it. When you're going out into the world and say, okay, now I think I want to, try to date, try the dating thing out. Say what you want up front. And if they give you a hard time, again, that's a red flag. Walk away. You don't need to say nothing else. You don't owe them nothing. They don't owe you nothing. We're not in a relationship. And most importantly, we did not have sex. You don't know where I stay. I don't know where you stay. Let me go on about my merry way. And then that's another thing, too, about giving out your real phone number. Do y'all ever hear, like, what is them apps? They got all kind of apps that you can get that you can give someone the number to that, right? Stop giving away your number because some people got caller ID. Like me, I got caller ID. So if your phone is in your name, I'm gonna know who you are when you're calling me. But you can do a lot with that. That people can get online, they can look up that phone number, and if they can figure out, okay, your name, then all they do is go look you up and see what address they can ping for you. Now you got a stalker. You have to be careful about that. But look up people too. I tell people, get a been verified account so you can go and see who these people are. It will give you criminal history, especially as a woman in these times. Women, you got to be careful because some of these people are, like I said, snakes can come look cute too. They can look nice. Snakes can wear suits. They can wear suits too. Nice button up. They ain't just the ones with the pants below they butt. You got to know, go look these people up. It is not illegal. It is public knowledge. Every person with a social security number can be found. Now, you might not have their social, but ask their name. And another way too is a tip, if you want to really know a person's name, because people love to say like, like my name is like JJ or something like that, but their real name might be Jerome, but they don't want to tell you that. Lie and be like, ask them how old they are. Oh, how old you are? I don't believe you. You don't look old enough. Let me see your ID. That's a trick that let me see so I can see your name. Now I know your name, and you need to take a picture in your brain. Remember their first, middle, last name, and if you can get that address, remember that too. And go home, look them up, because you'd be surprised some of the stuff. Like I said, some people are the P word, some people are CMs. Y'all get where I'm going with this. Ours, all type of stuff, and same with women. Don't let these women fool you. They do some of that stuff too. But being careful, and like I said, refrain from sex. There's nothing wrong with not allowing your sexual organs to control you. You're supposed to control your sexual organs, not your organs controlling you. I get it that men, yes, they make it like it's a thing to do. You got to have it. It's yes, it's good for you, but
But
it can
is it worth your life though? Like,
that.
did y'all know that every time you give away your life force as a man? Did you know that? Did you know
No, they
that?
don't.
And so,
No.
that's something to think about because see, if you don't really like her like that, why you giving her your life? Why would you do that? Same with a child. Like, if you don't really like her like that, why would you put yourself in a situation where one, you giving her your life and you gave her a baby? You obviously like her, bro.
That, yeah, or they might not have, but unfortunately they didn't care to be careful because a lot of them be like, oh, I can't stand my baby mama. You probably couldn't. And you probably couldn't stand her up front too had you got to know her. You wouldn't know you couldn't stand her. But see, you had to find out later. Cause see, your brain, your spirit was probably saying, don't trust that hoe. But you slept with her. So your brain's like, all right, wait on it. Now you got a kid. Now you got to deal with her. And that whole, oh, it's only for 18 years to lie. You're going to deal with that woman for the rest of your life because that's your kid. You never, there's
Only
no,
18 years.
Like, but they say that all only until they're 18. What if they go to college and you still got to pay child support for 3 more years, 3 more, unless they drop out of college. But yeah, if the child go to college and you don't like your baby mom and you paying child support, you just tacked on 3 more years. But it's more than that. But it's just the thing is know what you're dealing with and don't be afraid to tell a person no. Just because they smile and just because you don't want to be mean, sometimes you have to be mean to protect yourself. Nothing wrong with that. They can call you a bitch. I'd rather be a bitch and be safe than be a bitch and be dead. I mean, a nice person be dead. Because a lot of that too. And even just withholding sex, it is dangerous depending on who you're dealing with because some men don't understand the word no, or they'll try to do that coercion thing. They'll be like, you want a drink? No. Juice. Matter of fact, water so I can see through it. Give me some water and bring your own water. Don't be taking these drinks from these fools because it ain't nothing for them to slip you something and boom,
Same
like
with women, because these women
yeah.
nowadays is ruthless with trying to get pregnant by men. Like, sis.
And then the spell thing that they do. I saw a TikTok video about a week ago because I showed it to my mom. And this girl said that she used her menses and made a popsicle, right? And then she's recording the dude eating the popsicle. Yes. Like it had the Siri voice on. And I'm like, see, y'all don't realize that you are allowing death to come knock on your front doorstep when you are doing that. If you got to put voodoo on me to get me to like you, that says a lot about you. Because what happens when, they always say be careful of certain boxes you open because once you open it, you cannot control how it ends, right? That's that with voodoo, especially because y'all get on TikTok. Someone say, you want someone to like you? Oh, get a little salt. Get you a couple of rocks. Pull a strand of their hair. Go get their hairbrush and wrap it all together and set it on fire. And next thing you know, like they're going to be calling you and being crazy about you until they kill you. Is it worth it? If a person don't want you, they don't want you.
There's
That's
too
not.
many people out here for all of that.
Thank you. But you got people who will allow somebody, especially when they're not yours. That'd be the crazy part that get me is when they are not yours and you are here and off somebody over someone that was not yours. Does that make a lot of sense? So now you gotta look stupid in the courtroom. Like, like, so you mean to tell me that it wasn't your girlfriend or it wasn't your boyfriend? Yeah, it wasn't. But we was talking. Yeah, see, you put papers on somebody who wasn't even trying to be your property. Like I don't understand that, but they do it. So again, like we have to be careful, be aware, know yourself, know what you want. Have a conversation about the kind of relationship that you want, what you are looking for, and then when ask them the same in return. Is this what you're looking for? Tell me. Actually, don't even ask them that question. Make them state it because you got some people who will agree just to get past the conversation and move on to the next thing. I've seen people do that. They be like, "Yeah, that's tight. I like that. Yeah, I'm like that too." How? That's my next question. How are you like that? What makes you like that? And if they be ducking and dodging them important questions, red flag. How many kids they got? If they gotta be like, red flag. They got 10 of them. You ain't gonna sleep with 3 of them. They probably got 10. And that's your whole paycheck. You can't do nothing. Y'all can't even get a sandbox together because baby, that's too many kids. I know a person right now got 10 kids. 10. I'm like, what was you doing? And then you got like 8 baby mamas. What? So the whole Nick Cannon, having another baby, it's not shocking. I know somebody who already got 8 baby mamas, 10 kids. And it's a thing. People be wanting to make a baby out of you. You people still doing the whole trap thing. Let me get her pregnant real quick. So, so nobody else can have. I don't want her, but this how, because they used to believe that back in the day. But women the same way. Y'all be trying to do it too. Let me get pregnant. So now he got to deal with me because I'm starting to see him pulling away from me. So let me get him drunk real quick. Let me make him feel good real quick. And let me, get a kid. And it's like, is that, first of all, Ain't this supposed to be a child of love and not a child of?
That's what it's supposed to be, and that's what we talked about before about things not going in proper order. See, I see a lot of people these days talking about. I see why they said don't have sex before you get married. Yeah, because with all the hell you just went through, now you see why it makes sense to live proper or to live right. Like a, no one wants to live that way. It ain't no fun, and that's why people don't do it. It ain't no fun. It's not fun to not have sex before you
I
get
mean, but
married.
there's other
It's
levels of intimacy. Like, what's wrong with just
but I'm
cuddling?
talking about I'm look at the but I'm talking about the thought
Oh,
pattern of
well,
people, and
yeah.
I'm also talking about, what society throws at us on a daily. It's ass and titties all day.
Sex,
So
hypersexualized all the time, 24/7. These kids be fascinated when they be seeing grown women twerking and stuff. You be like, yeah, you're like 7 and you probably can't produce anything yet, but you gonna feel like you did something. That's what I be calling that. That's why I said when you see them kids hanging out on the edge of the pool, go over there and see some jets over there. That's what they over there doing. Get them out that pool because they getting excited and don't even realize you're sitting next to your little best friend over here. Both of y'all are men. Move. Right. But yeah, the hypersexual thing. And then just okay, the last one when I said too much sex is not good for you. First thing to say, I need to see some proof of that. And I still need to go on and send that proof. But the one of the main reasons why you should not be having all this sex, especially if you're not in a relationship with a person already, is because you become desensitized. You become desensitized. And then y'all wonder why you seeing 20-year-olds out here buying up these gas station Viagra pills, these blue rhinos and the gold rhinos and the pink kitties and all that stuff. And I mean, because like when I worked in that store, like there was young boys coming in there like, let me get that honey pack. How old are you? Like 17? I'm 19. What you need that for? You should be like a Energizer bunny at your age, but that's why. Too much ejaculating has desensitized you. So now, you're overdoing it to where your body ain't keeping up with you no more. Your
that
body,
and them drugs
that too,
and that
drinking.
diet, and your ass is not exercising. All of
It's
that mixed together, bad recipe.
it's a book that I want to buy it. I do. I think I'm gonna cave in. And I'm gonna end up paying because it's $78 for this book. And when I saw it too, I was like, buddy. But it's called The Southern Witch or something like that. It's called the Male Southern Witch or something like that. I gotta figure out the name. But anyway, it's on the southerncover.com. And because I saw it on TikTok and like it's his book, he wrote it, but he was talking about that. And also the same way, the multiple partner thing is like even though you might not be with that person no more, or that one time that a person like it can throw you off for months and months at a time. Like the book seemed very intriguing. Like he was reading something. I was like, I want to read it. And he was like, you can get it on southerncover.com. And I go, look, it says $78. I mean, what? I was like, you ain't got a payment plan? I mean, but I think I'm going to get it because I want to read it because it was hitting on that about both the male and the female. And like why, you shouldn't be spreading yourself thin. So I get it, like men and dating and thinking that okay, she looked good. What else do I need to know about her? She's obviously attractive. I'm obviously getting a rise. Let me, try to do something real quick. No. And ladies the same way, because some of y'all be getting hot in the pants too. And be like, oh, that man fine. Oh, look at the bicep. Oh, he got on great sweatpants. So I mean, and it's like okay, because like when a lady says like women can be perverts too. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be real
facts.
with you. Women can be perverted too against men, just like they can be perverted against you. So it's keeping the sex off the subject because again, if you're having a lot of sex, it becomes a habit. So you have to kind of kill the habit when you're getting back into the dating world. If you don't bring sex up, make it a topic of discussion because even that when you're dating people, like they'll revert a conversation to where you're talking about sex, curve it, move to something else. So it's not a thought process. You don't have to think about it. So if you're not thinking about it, then you're not making plans to do it, right? You're not, you know, and so you're not allowing yourself to shift like that. Like, no, I want to, you know, do it the right way. Like, it, let me have a level of commitment. What is wrong with having a level of commitment first? You know, at least be together, but not, well, we can get together after we have sex or determine that afterward. But like right now, like I can't help myself. I can't keep my hands off of you. Or I just want to jump your bones. Well, jump your ass out this car. Like drop let me drop, well, I ain't finna drop no nigga off at his house, but I'm not picking you up to begin with. But you know what I'm saying, like that type of stuff. Like, just again, know what you want and don't be ashamed if that person is not okay with it and they don't want, you know, to abide by what you have set forth for yourself and for themselves. Then that right there is your answer. You don't need to worry about it. Cut it off. You know, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. They ain't gotta like it, but they gotta respect it, because at the end of the day, y'all don't owe each other nothing, especially right off. So, with that being said, y'all, I hope that y'all did take away some good points out of this. When it just comes to vetting, we didn't want to make this video like really long, but if you feel that we left something out, or you want us to hit on something else, again, send an email to the Lindsay podcast at gmail.com. Also, make sure to like the video. It is free to do. Just like the video and leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts on how you feel about properly vetting and why it is important for you as a male or a female, because again, it is beneficial to both male and female to properly vet the person that they're with. So until next time, you all take care, and we will see you in the next video.